Hello and welcome sports fans to this live video streaming event from Table Rock Sports Productions in partnership with our local school districts and sponsors. I'm Jim McCoy with Johnny McCoy on the camera, coming to you live from Harry and David Field in Medford, Oregon. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Lithia Superstore Game Day powered by Siskiyou Cellular in Southern Oregon. Today we are featuring the Ashland Grizzlies versus the South Medford Panthers. This game on TableRockSports.net is brought to you in partnership with our community business partners. Joe Brett is the executive producer for today's event. Please let our sponsors know you appreciate their support. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, search Table Rock Sports, and click on the red subscribe button. We'll let you know when games go live. Well, this announcer's been around long enough. I can remember back in the day when these two programs were league rivals, the Panthers and the Grizzlies, with quite a history between them. But now, these days, Ashland in the Midwest League at the 5A level, coming in today with a 2-2 record. They opened up with a pair of losses to begin their season back on the 15th. They took on 3A Cascade Christian and took an 11-1 loss there. And then coming into St. Patrick's Day, they on Friday ended up taking a 4-7 loss against Orland High School in California, but bounced right back, picked up a victory on Saturday by a score of 6-1. And then earlier this week, the Grizzlies took on another local opponent in the Phoenix Pirates and won that game by a score of 11-3. So this, their fifth contest of the season, coming in, it's all squared up at 2-2. Meanwhile, the South Medford Panthers, they're coming off a loss on Tuesday against Grants Pass here at Harry and David, a game in which the Panthers were cruising right along into the seventh inning, and then it was like death by 1,000 paper cuts as single after single rattled out into the field, and Grants Pass was able to parlay that into a 6-4 victory. So the Panthers, with the loss to Grants Pass last week, taking on Silverton, winning that game 12-0, one of those games where they had everything going right for them, and then opening up the season against a good 5A team in Lebanon, and ended up with a 5-2 loss for that particular decision to open their season. It has been a rainy day. There is rain in the forecast, but the infield has been covered throughout the day, and good care has been taken to this field, and by golly, we're going to work to try to get this one in for you. What we'll do right now is we will go ahead and take a quick time out, and when we return, we'll get you ready for the start of today's game. It's the Grizzlies and the Panthers here on TableRockSports.net.
Game day adventure starts at Pinnacle 365. Kick off your day with some morning motivation. Then add some crunch to your game day with mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken party meals featuring bone-in, tenders, and wings. Make sure you remember the biscuits. You're sure to be the hit of the party when you show up with the crispy crunchy chicken party meal. Plus, with our Peak Rewards app, you can be earning savings on fuel for your next fill-up. Enjoy your game day adventures more at Pinnacle 365.
Are you an honorably discharged U.S. veteran? If so, did you know that you and your spouse could save approximately $5,000 by taking advantage of using a VA National Cemetery? You and your spouse get a grave or urn space, grave lining, opening and closing, headstone, and perpetual care, all free. Conger Morris can assist you with making all final arrangements and also help with other benefits that you and your spouse are entitled to as a veteran. Call Conger Morris or visit one of the offices.
This afternoon, the Panthers are proud to host the Grizzlies from Ashland High School. And now,
This is Maya. As an embedded systems engineering student at Rogue Community College, Maya spends a lot of time in the lab, learning circuit design and making great connections with her instructors and classmates. By riding the bus and not owning a car, Maya saves almost $1,000 a month. RVTD helps Maya get to and from class safely and easily, enabling her to invest in her bright future at Oregon Tech. Way to go, Maya!
Dutch Bros in here.
Another day, another Dutch Bros.
Oh my goodness, that is so good. So worth it. Oh my god.
It's pretty freaking dope, dude. I love every single day of it.
The playing of our national anthem, signaling we're just moments away from the start of today's game. South Medford in their home white uniforms, out on the field, taking their warm-ups. Just in time for the spring sports season, Table Rock Sports welcomes Dutch Bros to our sponsor lineup. Now, when you enjoy your favorite Dutch Bros treats, you will also be helping connect high school sports fans and teams through Table Rock Sports. Taking his warm-up tosses for South Met for today's starting pitcher is right-hander Kyle Cope. Cope, the, if you will, opening day starter for the Panthers in their opening loss to Lebanon last Thursday. On the other side of the battery for South Medford will be Caleb Long. So while they're out there on the field taking their warm-ups, defensively, the Panthers will set up like this. Going around the infield at third base will be Elijah Havey. At shortstop, Cameron Sewell. The second baseman, Sawyer. And at first base is Tristan Malari. The outfield for you today, we've got Gunnar Jones out in left, Jake Mason in center field, and Cooper Mitchell in right. Again, Long the catcher, receiving the pitches of Kyle Cope. Now let's take a look at the batting order for the Ashland Grizzlies. Leading off and playing center field will be Ben Bleicher. He'll be followed in the order by first baseman Jackson Rosenthal. The number 3 hitter is Keller Bloodworth playing shortstop today. The cleanup man is Cooper Rathbun. We'll get the rest of the lineup for you after the first pitch. Ben Bleicher, center fielder, clearing off the plate. As you can see, the flag out in left field. It is got the wind, a little bit of breeze out here. Ground ball hit the short. Sewell pumps, throws over to first. One pitch, one up, one down.
Number 2, Jackson Rosenthal.
And that'll bring up the first baseman, Jackson Rosenthal. Throws right-handed, but hits lefty. First pitch, over for a strike. Takes a little something off the pitch there and gets out in front with a count of 0-2. Next offering outside. Look to see if they couldn't get Rosenthal fishing there. He looks it in, and we have 1-2 count. On deck is the shortstop, Keller Bloodworth. Comes inside. That'll level the count down at 2-2. Ground ball hit down to third base. Playing third today, taking it on a hop and recording the out. The play goes 5-3 as Rosenthal heads back to the dugout. And playing third today is Elijah Havey. We've seen him at catcher, but out on the infield and long behind the plate. And now we have Keller Bloodworth. Little kind of sidearm delivery. Come back to the mound. And he'll have to tag him. And he gets the out. So 1, 2, 3 they go in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no Panther errors. We'll go to the bottom of the first and get our first look offensively at the South Medford Panthers right after these messages.
I'm Pat Cox with Sherm's Food Stores. The employees of Sherm's are proud to be part of your community.
We have thousands of customers in our stores every day, and our checkers know a lot of them on a first name basis. They tend to enjoy what they do and they love it, so it reflects in how they treat the customer.
If you live anywhere in Southern Oregon, there's a Sherm's store near you. We hope to see you soon.
If you shop with us, you will save money.
Daily adventure starts at Pinnacle 365. Accelerate your day with morning motivation. That midday pick-me-up pit stop. Plus, earn free rewards with our Peak Rewards app. And when you buy Red Bull, Old Wisconsin Jerky, and many other items, you'll accumulate big savings on fuel. With locations in Oregon and California, we are here to keep you energized throughout the day. And with our Peak Rewards app, we'll help you travel further for less, keeping more money in your pocket. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
Bottom of the first inning at Harry and David Field. Jim McCoy, Johnny McCoy, bringing you the action here on TableRockSports.net. Ashland defensively will go like this. Ira Nogues will be playing third base. It's Bloodworth at shortstop. Second baseman is Gabe Brabeck. And over at first is Jackson Rosenthal. Outfield left to right. We have Thompson in left, Blaker in center, and over in right field is Mateo Moore. Behind the plate, I believe that's Noah Schrader we've got back there. And on the hill will be Evan Roden. For the Panthers, offensively here in the first, due up, Kyle Cope, Cameron Sewell, and Elijah Havey. Cope, we've seen him in center field. That's where he played on Tuesday. On the hill today for Coach Josh Moody and company. In the game, hit a single, walked, struck out, and grounded to short. He'll take his first look at Roden as we get the home half of the first inning underway. Meanwhile, a little bit of groundskeeping going on. Day like today, we just didn't know all day long. I work over on the north side of town, and things look pretty threatening over there. Didn't know whether we'd be getting this one in, but as you can see, we're underway with this ball game, and keep powering forward, and glad to be here. I've got no complaint up here in a nice, warm, dry broadcast booth. And the kids, they're young, right? Little rain never hurt anybody. Cope standing in. Right-handed hitter, even stance against Roden. First pitch misses from Roden as the count goes 1-0. Next pitch Catches the outside corner as the count goes 1-1. Pitch inside as Cope gets ahead in the count, 2-1. Count level now with 2-2 against Cope. Swing and a miss, but the pitch gets away. Running down to first is Cope, and he's aboard. So the third strike pitch gets away from the catcher. Cope aboard for Cameron Sewell. Sewell, the starting pitcher on Tuesday. Today, playing shortstop. Been kind of quiet at the plate the last couple of games. You get the feeling that he's due and he's going to bust out here anytime soon. Looks at an inside pitch, and let's bring that scoreboard up to date. So that's a 1-0 count now to Sewell. Nobody out. And Cope, though he struck out, the pitch got away, and we're not able to get the out at first. Roden looking over to first. And Cope with the kind of speed. You got to keep an eye on them, and that they do as they throw over. Keep him close. Roden with success so far in being able to kind of catch that inner portion of the plate if you're the left-handed hitter, such as Sewell is. Next pitch, that's pulled foul. Lands in the area of the berm just beyond right field. Roden ahead now on the count. Next pitch, that one just a little too much inside as the count goes even at 2-2. Roden, a young pitcher, a sophomore. Ball hit in the air out to right field. Moore's going to go back on it and measures that carefully, closes the glove on it, and there's one down.
Now, for the Panthers, number 4, Elijah Havey.
Elijah Havey standing in. Kind of an open stance as he stands in against Roden. Roden out of the stretch, comes to the plate. Pitch misses, and the count goes 1-0. Next offering by Roden is off the plate as Havey gets ahead 2-0. Elijah with a hit on Tuesday against Grants Pass. strike there as the count goes 2-1. And if memory serves me correctly, pretty good day at the plate against Silverton and the Panthers' 12-0 victory last Friday. The runner goes. Throw down to second. It's wide of the bag. So Cope with the steal. He's in scoring position now as the count now 3-1 to the hitter. Elijah Havey. Opportunity here in the bottom of the first. Roden fires. And taking the stroll down to first base, Elijah Havey. 2 men aboard.
Number 7, Cooper Mitchell.
And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Cooper Mitchell. Mitchell will look at a strike as Roden gets ahead 0-1. Mitchell singled and walked against Grants Pass on Tuesday. That one way inside. Scoots away from it. Even things up at 1-1. Today's game is brought to you by Schlesinger and DeVilleneuve, attorneys with practices throughout Southern Oregon, and the Southern Oregon Sports Commission's Know Your Role campaign, promoting respectful behavior at youth sporting events. Runner goes. Runners go without a challenge, and so now you have runners at second, third. They're 90 feet closer. 1-2 the count to Mitchell. He'll foul this one off. Back to the screen. One and two the count to the right fielder. Just looking for maybe a little bit of contact to bring the run home. And Roden gets it over for a much-needed strike there. 2 down in the inning.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 14, Caleb Long.
So that'll bring up the catcher, Caleb Long. So technically that's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Roden, although one of those got aboard with the dropped third strike, or actually the third strike that got away from the catcher. Roden gets ahead here with 2 down in the inning. Long awaits the pitch. That one outside. It goes all the way back to the screen. Cope will come home, and the Panthers take the 1-0 lead. Down to third, the trailing runner, Elijah Havey. So runner at third now with 2 down. Can Long bring him home for one more? There's a strike there from Roden. Long drew a walk in Tuesday's action, was also hit by a pitch. Pitch outside as it goes 2-2. Long, a versatile player. We've seen him in right field. We've seen him at third. And today behind the plate. Pitch fouled back to the screen by Long. Count remains at 2-2. 2 down. Panthers put 1 run on the board without the aid of a hit. There, a little line drive out to left field, and it falls in. Havey will score. Running to third. Sliding in as the ball gets away from the third baseman. And Long gives the Panthers their first hit of the day.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 8.
And he gets an RBI for good measure. So Havey scores for South Medford, giving them a 2-0 lead. Runner at third goes, a little comebacker to the hill. Malari, the hitter. He's out, and that will end it for South Medford in the bottom of 1. But the Panthers put 2 on the board with 1 hit. We'll take a quick timeout when we return. The Grizzlies will be up for the top of the second after these messages.
The days grow long, calling you to pack a bag, grab the kids, and hit the road to Southern Oregon. Your journey begins when you travel Medford.
This is Jake. He's a serious cyclist training for his next race. Each morning, Jake takes his bike on the bus to work. By not owning a car, Jake is saving nearly $1,000 a month in gas, car payments, insurance, and repair. The money he saves allows him to participate in the Race for a Cure for breast cancer. With every ride he takes, he's 1 mile closer to crossing the finish line on behalf of his mom. Way to go, Jake.
There's a time machine that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
To the top of the second we go. Panthers now on top, 2-0. Due up this inning is Cooper Rathman, followed by Ira Noakes and Gabe Brabeck. Cope, who had an efficient first inning, will look to do the same here in the second. That was one of the things about Tuesday's game. Going into the 7th inning, Sewell had only thrown 64 pitches in the contest. So he was doing a good job of throwing strikes that day until Grants Pass was able to put a rally together to win the game. But Rathbun will stand in now. Designated hitter today, right-handed hitter. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Cope, I don't know whether you would describe his delivery as kind of a, I wouldn't say it's quite truly a sidearm. Looks like kind of a 3/4 motion here. So I say a bit unorthodox, but obviously very effective. Cope pitching out of the stretch. Bouncing ball, wide of third it goes. That will even things up at 2-2. Slightly open stance for Rathman. Swing and a miss. For Cope, his first strikeout of the day. Ira Nogus, third baseman. First pitch, swings through that one as the count goes 1-0. Next offering, and Cope gets that one over. You see, he does a lot with off-speed pitches. Next pitch, swing and a miss. That'll send Nogus to the dugout, and there's 2 down in the inning.
For the Grizzlies, number 3, Gabe Braybeck.
Gabe Braybeck, second baseman for Ashland, stands in. Braybeck passes on that offering, gets ahead, 1-0. He lets that one pass him by, and now the count goes 2-0. So Braybeck getting ahead here. Will no doubt be looking to take here with a 3-0 count. Next pitch. Cope gets that one over as the count goes 3-1. Kind of got the feeling Braybeck was trying to sell that a little bit. And a strike as Cope now runs the count full at 3-2, 2 down here in the top of the second. A pitch outside, that will send Braybeck down to first. First base on ball surrendered by Cope today. And that'll bring up Mateo Moore. Moore playing right field for Coach Nick Hall. Pitch inside. Did he make contact with the hitter? Ground ball up the middle, and stepping on second base is the shortstop, Sewell. So that will end it for the Grizzlies on the first. They get a base runner via the base on balls.
One person left on base.
But Mateo grounds out. 6-4 on the play. And we'll take a quick timeout and be back with the home half of the second inning after these messages.
Game day or a family get-together. Sherm's has the quality products and prices that will make you cheer. Sherm's Thunderbird Market, Medford's original discount grocery store.
We love our sports here. It's our responsibility to keep them great. And we need you to know your role.
You can be a player.
You can be a coach.
You can be a spectator.
Or an official.
But you only get to be one.
Know your role.
Parents, release your kid to the game.
It's my experience.
Don't yell at the refs. They have a hard job.
Know your role.
Players, respect your opponents.
Love to play, win or lose.
Know your role.
So what do when you get injured in a motorcycle accident and you need legal help? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Another one bites the dust playing in the background. Not a whole lot of dust here today, here on this cloudy day. I think just a tribute to the things that they're able to do to take care of the surface, to be able to get the game in. And South Medford with a 2-0 lead here early, as Jones, the left fielder, will come to the plate. Gannon Jones, utility man, junior. Saw him on the corner infield, ends up taking one in the backside, and that will end up sending him down to first base. Hey, you leadoff hitter, you get on any way you can, and Jones looking no worse for wear, and that will bring up Jake Mason. He's playing center field today, runner on first with nobody out. Panthers would like nothing more than to extend that 2-0 lead, try to get some separation. Shows bunt there. First pitch, a strike as Roden gets ahead. Throw over to first. Jones gets underneath the tag. Roden keeping an eye on the runner. Jones, you can see him continuing to measure out his lead a little bit, but a pitch there fouled off as Roden ahead of Mason now, 0-2. Mason 0 for 3 against Grants Pass on Tuesday. The runner goes. And he got enough of a lead that not much of a fight put up by the Grizzlies. So now Jones in scoring position. Mason, swing and a miss. One gone.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 6, Jordan Sawyer.
So we go to the number 9 man in the order, Jordan Sawyer, playing second base today for Roden. That is his third strikeout on the afternoon. Ground ball hit to the right side. Rosenthal has it. Will he get there in time? The throw does. So the play goes 3-1, and that'll move the runner down to third.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 1, Kyle Cope.
And we go back to the top of the Panther order. Kyle Cope. He struck out, but managed to get aboard after the pitch got away from the catcher, and he came around and scored on the extra base hit by Caleb Long. First pitch from Roden, a ball as Cope gets ahead 1-0. This next pitch goes outside as the count goes 2-0. Roden catches the corner, picks up the strike there. It goes 2-1. Spring Sports Action is brought to you by our title sponsor, Lithia Superstore, Jeep Dodge Chrysler. Visit lithiasuperstore.com to find your next ride. And our presenting sponsor, Siskiyou Cellular of Southern Oregon, with 7 locations to serve you. Count now even at 2-2, so deuces are wild. 2-2 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning, and the Panthers leading 2-0. Cope, swing and a miss. Looked like Roden may have taken something off there, and Roden able to escape there for the Panthers. No runs, no hits, no Grizzly errors. You're watching the Panthers and Grizzlies on Table Rock Sports. We've got more action on the other side of this break.
Dear Dad, today was hard. You know how much I love you, and you know how much I love sports. I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports. I love to play, and I love my team. I want us both to enjoy the game, win or lose. But we can't if you always lose your temper. I hope you can cheer for me and the other players. It's about more than just the score. It's about us all enjoying the experience. I hope you can join me for my next game. I really want you to be there. Love, Katie.
On what has been a windy and rainy day, we've been cruising along here in this ball game. Noah Schrader will stand in, the leadoff hitter. Following him in the order will be Thompson. They go back to the top of the order with Bleicher. Grizzlies in pursuit of their first hit of the afternoon. They did get a runner aboard via the base on balls. Bouncing ball down to short. Sewell throws across. Throw is in time, and there's one away.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 8, Sean Thompson.
So Cope doing a nice job of inducing the ground ball today. That is the 3rd, 4th, 5th out via the ground out. Now hitting is Sean Thompson. Kyle gets ahead of him, 0-1. Thompson, a senior. One of 7 who are members of the class of 23. Pitching out of the stretch, and now a bouncing ball down to second base. Sawyer smothers it, throws over to Malari at first, and there's 2 away.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 16, Ben Liker.
So another batter and another ground out for Cope, and that's a lot of times something you'll see from a pitcher who throws a lot of off-speed stuff. They get the ball down low, induce the ground ball, and keep the ball in the yard. Bleicher, he is first time up. Grounded out to the shortstop, Sewell. Bleicher looks at that one, and that will run the count even at 1-1. Next pitch, swing and a miss. That almost kind of looked like that pitch just kind of rolled right off the table. Took a little dive there at the end, and now Cope ahead in the count here. This next pitch gets away from the catcher Long. Nobody aboard. With 2 out in the top of the third. Pitch just a wee bit inside, and now that'll run the count full at 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one off target, and Bleicher will head down to first. He will represent the second runner of the day and also the second walk for Cope as Jackson Rosenthal comes up. Rosenthal grounded to third his first time up. Fouls it back. Little discussion between the home plate umpire and the pitcher Cope. Have to talk to Joe Brett about maybe getting our pitchers mic'd up. Always interesting to know maybe what the conversation is. Of course, maybe in some cases where there's a dispute between an umpire and a coach, maybe it's a good thing we don't know what they're saying. Throw over to first base. Bleicher gets back. One would think that probably base running wise will be a bit on the conservative side as they try to see if they can't manufacture a run here with 2 down. Pitch. That one fouled off by Rosenthal. That'll land over in the direction of the South Medford bullpen. Next offering, that one off the plate as the count goes 1-2. On deck, hitter is Keller Bloodworth. Ashland looking to see if they can get a rally going here in the top of the third. Pitch inside. Evens things up now at 2-2. Out of the stretch, here comes Cope. And that will run the count full at 3-2. Rosenthal, like his predecessor, exercising patience at the plate. Payoff pitch. Ball hit in the air to right field. Mitchell goes back on it. He's there to close the glove on it. And that will end the Grizzly threat here in the top of the third. Still a 2-0 ball game. And we'll be right back after the 60-second timeout here on TableRockSports.net.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
Any time is a good time to plan your funeral, except at the time of the funeral. At Conger Morris, we know that there are so many advantages to planning ahead. It eases the burden on our families at their worst time. Pre-planning also alleviates their stress, knowing the funeral costs are already taken care of. And it allows your service to be more meaningful, with all of your wishes being taken care of. Call us today for personalized assistance in creating your own plan. Conger Morris, we'll always be there.
Bottom of the third. And hits at a premium today. We've got a regular pitcher's duel going on between Evan Roden for Ashland and Kyle Cope for South Medford. South with just one hit on the day. Roden walked a hitter, hit a batter, has 4 strikeouts on the day. Cameron Sewell, who flew out in his first at-bat, will step in. Senior for South Medford. He'll play some summer ball with the Medford Rogues this year. And heads to Sacramento State next fall. Sewell playing shortstop today, starting pitcher on Tuesday. Had a pretty solid outing until the floodgates opened in the 7th against the Cavemen. First pitch to Sewell, he'll look at a strike as Roden gets ahead, 0-1. Roden comes to the plate. Looks like a little off-speed pitch there, and that will even the count up at 1-1. They say hitting is timing, and pitching's about messing up that timing. Two and one the count. This pitch, Roden will even it up now at 2-2. Sewell pulls it foul. It ends up ricocheting over into right field. Mateo Moore tosses it out of play. Sewell hanging tough here. Next pitch. Pulled foul. Count remains at 2-2. Sewell standing in. Next pitch, he'll hit that in the air to center field. About medium depth. And there to make the play is Bleicher.
Number 4, Elijah Havey.
And that'll bring up Elijah Havey. For Bleicher, that is the first out he's recorded out there on the day. Talked about all the ground balls that Cope has induced for South Medford. It's been a mixture of a lot of different ways to get hitters out for Evan Roden. Count now even at 1-1, one down. Open stance there, and Havey lets that go by. He drew a walk his first time up today and scored the second of the 2 runs that the Panthers have scored. Only 1 hit on the day, but they didn't need it to get their first run. Count now at 3-1. However, Havey did score on the extra base hit, so Long giving Coach Moody a good bang for the buck. Count here at 3-1. Ground ball hit down to second base. The throw is in time.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 7.
2 down
Mitchell.
for South Medford. Brabeck, the second baseman, making the throw across. And now that'll bring up Cooper Mitchell. Mitchell, ooh. Roden gets some dancing there. And now Mitch ahead here, 1-0. Mitchell, a strikeout victim, his first time up. And now the count goes 3-0. Mitchell looks all the way on that one. Roden getting the strike he needs. A hitter's count for Mitchell. And it's called a strike to run the count full at 3-2. Base is empty, 2 out. And a drive out to center field. Bleicher takes measure of it. He hauls it in. And a quiet inning as the Panthers go down in order. The score after 3 complete. It is the Panthers 2 and the Grizzlies nothing. There on your John L. Scott scoreboard. We'll be right back after these messages.
What do you do when you don't know the first step in applying for Social Security disability? It's easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with Crispy Crunchy Chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel, so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
There's a time machine that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 11, Keller Bloodworth.
Top of the fourth we go. Cope getting ahead of the hitter, Keller Bloodworth. Bloodworth, the shortstop. Batting third today for Coach Hall. Cope gets ahead here. Ground ball hit back to the mound. Cope will shovel it over to Malari at first base.
Now batting for the Grizzlies.
Play goes 1-3, and we've got one down. That'll bring up Cooper Rathbun, designated hitter in the cleanup spot, struck out his first time. Pitch low and inside, and the count goes 1-0. The next offering from Cope goes outside. That pitch looked close from here, but they're going to rule that one inside as the count goes 3-0. Rathbun, the DH, struck out his first time up. Next pitch. Off target.
Number 9, Ira Nogus.
Ira Nogus will now be the hitter, as Rathbun gets aboard via the base on balls. That is the third walk given up by Cope this afternoon. With that, the catcher Long will come out, talk to his pitcher. With the success that Cope has had inducing ground balls here, he'd love to try to get a double play ball here if he could. As Ira Nogus stands in, struck out his first time up. Now a man down at first. Pitch catches the outside corner, strike one. One on, one out. And that'll fall in for Ira Nogus. And that is the first hit of the game for the Grizzlies.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 3, Gabe Raybeck.
Ashland trying to put something together here in the top of the fourth. And I believe, if I'm correct, I think this is the first time that the Grizzlies have had a runner in scoring position this afternoon. That'll bring up Braybeck. Second baseman gets ahead here, 1-0. Here's a ground ball to second base. Throw over, get the out at second. Throw over to first is in time. A timely double play ball gets Cope out of danger, and that will do it for the Grizzlies in the top of the fourth. No runs, one hit, their first of the day, and no South Medford errors. We'll be back with the home half of the fourth right after this.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Come enjoy the patio weather and a brand new menu at Tap Rock Northwest Grill, where friends and family gather and memories are made. Come visit us today or visit our website.
Here at Harry and David Field, we've got a pitcher's duel going on today between Roden of Ashland and Cope of South Medford. Each team only with one base hit on the day. Few walks scattered in here and there, but here we have Long due up in the inning along with Malari and Jones. Long takes one in the small of the back. That'll give South Medford their leadoff man aboard. And Tristan Malari, who grounded out in his first at-bat, will come up. Roden throws over to first base. Runner goes, Long down to second. Throw a little high and wide, and getting the stolen base is Caleb Long. So now he's in scoring position with nobody out. So opportunity here for Tristan Malari and the Panthers. Malari the hitter, Jones on deck. That one pounded foul to the right to even it up at 1-1. Malari, the winning pitcher for South Medford, and their victory over Silverton on Friday. Malari with a strong outing in 4 1/3 innings of work. Jake Lewis coming on in relief in that 12-0 victory. Looks like maybe Malari had fouled it off his foot there, and so now the count 1-2. Roden comes to the plate. Ground ball to the right side. Will they get him with the throw-in time? And the umpire says he did.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 13, Gannon.
So Mallory grounds out, and that'll bring up Gannon Jones, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Runner advances, however, 90 feet away. Roden looking over at third. The pitch outside. Roden gets this one over, and the count now even at 1-1. Gray day here in the Rogue Valley. Not exactly what you think of for baseball weather, as Roden gets ahead here as Jones fouls it off. But on the other hand, those of you familiar with Southern Oregon, you just know that, well, this is par for the course in March. Sometimes it seems like you get all 4 seasons in one day. It looks like we've got rain in the forecast all the way through Monday, at least as of now. One and two to Jones. They got the runner at third and one down. And Roden. Pressure pitch there. And he sends Jones back to the dugout. 2 down, and that will bring up Jake Mason. Center fielder struck out in his first at bat. Now with 2 out, they'll go ahead and put a courtesy runner over at third. That's number 3, Chance Ryan. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Got to like that rule that gives the catcher Long the opportunity to go back to the dugout and get his gear ready and be able to take the infield quickly should the inning end here. With Mason, they say he did not hold up in time, and so now the count goes 0-2. A pitch outside. Mason, the hitter, with Sawyer, the second baseman, on deck. And the runner goes, but striking out, going down is Jake Mason. So once again, Roden and the Grizzlies escape without further damage. Your score after 4 complete, the Panthers 2. The Grizzlies yet to score. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
Any phone you want.
Any one I want?
Any phone you want.
Say cheese.
Connection is the greatest gift of all.
Mama.
At US Cellular, we're offering any phone free for new and current customers.
New and current customers get any phone free at Siskiyou Cellular, the Rogue Valley's exclusive authorized agent for U.S. Cellular. Visit souscellular.com for details.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Jim McCoy here with you this afternoon, along with Johnny McCoy on the camera. Due up for the Grizzlies in the top of the fifth. We have Mateo Moore, Noah Schrader, and Sean Thompson. On the mound, Kyle Cope. He'll start out the right fielder with a strike. Ground ball. Little trouble there for Sawyer, but he gets it there in time, and there's one away.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 4, Noah.
A continuing theme on this afternoon. Cope getting the ground ball out. His defense delivering for him behind him. And now that'll bring up Noah Schrader, being the man behind the plate today. Cope gets the outside corner, and that will run the count to 0-2. Try to see if he couldn't get reaching there. But Schrader with the good eye there, and now the count 1-2. Contact, ball hit in the air, out of play. Count will remain at 1-2. Today's game is brought to you in part by Avista Utilities and our friends from Pinnacle 365. Use your Peak Rewards to save on gas and snacks on your next road trip. Strike there. That will send Schrader back to the dugout. For Cope, his third K of the day. Soft line drive hit to right field by Thompson. There to reel it in is Mitchell. And that will do it for the Grizzlies in the top of the fifth. 3 up, 3 down for the Grizz. We'll take a timeout and be back in 60 seconds. John L. Scott's scoreboard showing the Panthers 2 and the Grizzlies none. We'll be right back.
What do you do when you get injured in a motorcycle accident and you need legal help? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Get ready for winter's snowy, icy, slippery roads at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We've stocked up on over 100 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs, and every pre-owned 4x4 and all-wheel drive in stock is sale price. Many are still under factory warranty or come with our 60-day, 3,000-mile comprehensive used vehicle warranty. And our finance experts are ready to help with a quick, easy, and hassle-free process with great finance options. Be safe, warm, and secure this winter. Get to the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
So what do you do when you get injured on the job and need to know your rights with workers' compensation? Easy. Just go to letusfightforyou.com. That's it. Letusfightforyou.com, helping Oregonians get justice for over 40 years.
Go to the bottom of the 5th inning. This game just an hour and 15 minutes old, but Both Roden and Cope with strong performances this afternoon. Roden taking his warm-ups. Had 2 strikeouts in the last inning. And has 6 overall on the day. He's hit 2 batters and given up a walk. And just 1 hit for each team on the day. Sawyer going to see if he can't do something about that. Sawyer grounded out in his first at-bat today. Roden, the big right-hander, pitches, and it's up in the air. A game effort by Schrader to try to make a play at the screen. And now the count 0-1 as Sawyer stays alive here. Leading off the bottom of the 5th. Roden, the big right-hander, now ahead 0-2. The next pitch. And he strikes him out.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 1, Kyle Hope.
South Medford to the top of the order. Cope struck out twice today. And Cope ends up taking one. Looked like grabbing his left shoulder there. That is the 3rd batter that Roden has hit today. So Cope aboard for Cameron Sewell. Sewell with a pair of fly balls hit today. Flew out to right, flew out to center. Sewell standing in, playing shortstop today. Versatile player who can play the infield, the outfield, and I think I've even seen him catch once. Pitch inside, but catches that inside corner as the count goes 0-1. Quick throw over by Roden. Cope gets in underneath the tag. Runner goes, pitch inside. And Cope down to second. Running her in scoring position with 1 down. And Sewell, a dangerous hitter at the plate. Lefty stick. Roden comes to the plate. Ground ball hit down to second. The runner advances to third.
Now batting for the Panthers, number 4.
Breivik goes to Rosenthal on the play. There's 2 down with a runner at third. And that'll bring up Elijah Havey. He walked and scored and is grounded out. First pitch fouled away. Count 0-1. Line drive out, hit out to left center field. Coming over, making the play, Brybeck. Reels that one in, and that will do it for the Panthers. They get a runner aboard and in scoring position with Cope, but they're unable to push him across. We'll go to the top of the sixth. John L. Scott scoreboard showing the Panthers up 2-0, and we'll be right back.
Hey, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
As we make our way to the 6 o'clock hour here on this Thursday evening, just a couple of days away from spring break. Temperature a chilly 39 degrees as we speak. Out at the Medford Airport. Cope. We'll take a look at the top of the Grizzly batting order in the top of the sixth. So we'll see Bleicher, followed by Rosenthal and Bloodworth. Cope efficient today. He surrendered 3 walks, but he helped himself out by inducing a double play ground ball. Now you'll see Bleicher, who has grounded out and drawn a walk. First pitch inside. So Bleicher doing what leadoff hitters do, trying to figure out a way to get on any way he can here. Lets that one go by, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Pitch outside. Bleicher getting ahead here, 2-0. Pitch. Fouled off to the right. Hits the screen, and the count now at 2-1. Just one lone hit for each team on the day. Pitch inside, and the count runs to 3-1. Cope, who pitches out of the stretch, comes to the plate. And Bleicher draws his second walk of the day. That'll bring up the first baseman, the lefty hitting Jackson Rosenthal. Rosenthal grounded out to third. He had a fly ball to right field, so he's 0 for 2 on the day. Pitch inside, throw down to first. Long paying a little courtesy call there as Rosenthal gets ahead here. The tall first baseman standing in now. Shows bunt. Draws back on that one, and the count now at 2-0. Rosenthal taking his practice cuts, home plate umpire, taking care of a little housekeeping. Okay, so we see there from the umpire, it is actually indeed a 1-1 count. Throw to first. Count remains at 1-1. And throw over to first. Cope looking to induce another ground ball here. The runner will go down to second. Throw by Long. Goes on the bounce. So that'll take the double play ground ball off the board now. Second runner that the Grizzlies have had in scoring position this afternoon. Starting to see a little bit of, looks like we have a little bit of activity down in the bullpen for South Medford. Hard to tell from here, and it's also been brought to my attention. Looks like we've got some activity going on over on the Ashland Grizzlies side. Working our way here late into the ball game. Top of the sixth. Cope's pitch count beginning to wander its way up. We don't have an official number on that, but here he surrenders the walk, and now we have two men on and nobody out.
For the Grizzlies, number 11, Keller Bloodworth.
So Rosenthal takes the walk down to first. And Bloodworth, the hitter, due up. Coach Josh Moody. 49 career victories at the helm of the South Medford program. 23 of them coming in 2022. With a really solid team this year. The program continues, but having gone on via graduation, Tanner Douglas, Jace Miller, Carson Joe, among others. Cope will remain in the ball game as he gets ready to deal with Bloodworth, who has hit to the pitcher twice today. Shows bunt. And that pitch goes for a strike. He'll look down to third base. Once again, showing bunt. It's that one foul over in the direction of the Grizzly dugout, and now the count at 0-2. Bloodworth at the plate represents the go-ahead run for the Grizzlies. Pitch outside. Count goes 1-2. Long doing a good job of keeping that in front of him to keep the runners from advancing. On deck hitter is Cooper Rathman. Next pitch, that one fouled back. Bloodworth hanging tough as he tries to help get his team on the board. Looking out beyond center field, we can see a little bit of sunlight hitting the foothills just below the Rogue Valley Manor. So, whereas the forecasts seem to indicate that we probably wouldn't even get this game in, it has been. I see the flag quietly right now, and runners go, throw down to third. Runner is safe. So now 2 runners in scoring position, 2-2 count, and nobody down. Next pitch, outside, and now the count goes full at 3-2. First base open. Next pitch, it's a strike. And there's one down.
Number 15, Cooper Rathbun.
Cope getting the strikeout he needed. Still in danger here, though, with runners at second and third. And now up the bat is Cooper Rathbun. Struck out and walked. Shows bunt. Hits it foul down the first base side. Good looking contact there. Just a little wide of the chalk line. Ira Nogus, third baseman, on deck. That pitch gets away from the catcher, and coming across to score, Bleichert comes home, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Now we've got a runner at third, tying run just 90 feet away, and only one down. Cope. Pitch outside. Long hustles over to get in front of it. After the last pitch, count now 3-1. First is open. And the ball hit out wide of third base, over near the South Medford dugout. That'll run the count full at 3-2. Rathman, designated hitter, wearing number 15, stands back in. And he'll await the payoff pitch from Kyle Cope. Next pitch fouled back to the screen. Rathman staying alive. Payoff pitch, Rathman draws the walk, and now we've got runners at the corners. The sixth base on balls issued by Cope this afternoon. And now Ira Nogus. He has the lone hit that the Grizzlies have to their credit this afternoon. Pinch runner into the ball game for the Ashland Grizzlies. Try to get that name for you as soon as we can.
Running for the Grizzlies, number 5, Schrader.
So in to run for the Ashland Grizzlies. Nate Schrader. So you have Noah, then you have Nate. And Nate's going to scamper on down to second base. So now you have two runners in scoring position. Tying run is at third base in the person of Jackson Rosenthal. Offering from Cope, hit out of play. Count now, 2-1. Shows bunt. And they'll let that roll foul. South Medford crowd gathered around like, look at what I found. And they let it roll wisely, and now the count at 2-2. Two-two pitch. And he gets the strikeout. Cooper, Cope, I should say, dancing with danger here, but gets a big strikeout. Still runners at second and third for Gabe Brayback. fouled away to the right. Brabeck walked, grounded into a double play. Next pitch outside. And the count goes 1-1. Cope been laboring this inning, but he's been working his way through it. Falls behind here at 2-1. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second. And pitch goes for a strike, and that will even things up now with 2-2. Thinking that there might be a balk call, but no pitch. Okay. Saw Brabeck raise his right hand up. And then for a moment there, just the way all the activity there, without the ability to hear what's going on down there, speculated a possible balk there for a moment, but that's not the case. No pitch. 2-2 the count with 2 out. And a big strikeout for Cope. The Grizzlies put a run on the board, but nothing more. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 ball game, and the Panthers coming up.
Game day adventure starts at Pinnacle 365. Kick off your day with some morning motivation. Then add some crunch to your game day with mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken party meals. Featuring bone-in, tenders, and wings. Make sure you remember the biscuits. You're sure to be the hit of the party when you show up with the crispy crunchy chicken party meal. Plus, with our Peak Rewards app, you can be earning savings on fuel for your next fill-up. Enjoy your game day adventures more at Pinnacle 365.
Are you an honorably discharged U.S. veteran? If so, did you know that you and your spouse could save approximately $5,000 by taking advantage of using a VA National Cemetery? You and your spouse get a grave or urn space, grave lining, opening and closing, headstone, and perpetual care, all free. Conger Morris can assist you with making all final arrangements and also help with other benefits that you and your spouse are entitled to as a veteran. Call Conger Morris or visit one of the offices.
Go to the bottom of the 6th. Panthers leading 2-1. Cooper Mitchell, Caleb Long, Tristan Malari due up for the Panthers. First pitch fouled off. It seems like it's been 100 years since the Panthers have been up at the plate. Long inning for the Grizzlies. They managed to draw 3 walks. Yeah, 3 walks in the inning, but Cope succeeds in striking out the side. But the game got closer at now a 2-1 ball game. And kind of a haunting feeling, I'm sure, no doubt, in the back of the minds of the Panthers, is they were leading 4-2 against Grants Pass on Tuesday. And then Grants Pass with a 5-run rally. Yeah, 5-run rally ended up because it was a 4-1 at one point, and then the Cavemen able to come away with the victory. Count 1-2 here. Pitch hit foul. Count 1-2 to the leadoff man, Mitchell, who has struck out and flown out to center. Both teams with one hit apiece. It's been a good game, but it has been an unusual one. Save for the Silverton game, South Medford has struggled at putting together rallies. They'll get runners aboard, but just haven't been able to bring them around. Pitch fouled off. Count remains at 1-2. Of course, very much early in the season. Baseball championships aren't won in March. Everybody's getting into the swing of things here for the Panthers. Just their fourth game of the campaign. For the Grizzlies, their fifth. Mitchell watches that one, and that will even up the count at 2-2. Good eye there, runs the count full at 3-2. Left fielder shaded just a little bit over toward the foul line. Mitchell, a little seeing eye base hit as he gets aboard to lead off the bottom of the sixth.
The Panthers, number 14, Caleb Long.
That'll bring up the catcher for the Panthers, Caleb Long. And now it looks like the big fella, Evan Roden, who's had a solid day pitching, is going to come out of the ball game. So there will be a pitching change. And what we'll do is take a quick timeout and be right back with Southern Oregon High School baseball on TableRockSports.net.
Hey, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
For the Grizzlies, number 9, Ira Nogas.
So Ira Nogas will come in from third base and pitch for the Grizzlies. Right-hander, and with that, it looks like we've got number 3 for Ashland. That is, okay, that's Braybeck. So it looks like now we've got a new guy down at second, and that looks like that might be Mateo Moore coming in from right. Actually, that is Freeman Roundtree. So Roundtree, wearing number 1, sophomore, will come in and play second base.
For the Grizzlies, Roundtree.
So it looked like Roden, 5+ innings of work, gave up just 2 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Two walks and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts on the day. So a good day of pitching for Evan Roden comes to an end. And now Nogas will come in to take on Caleb Long. Meanwhile, throw over to first base. Keeping Mitchell honest here. Throw over to first. He'll keep him close. Long, the number 5 hitter, attempted steal, throw down to second. It ends up bounding into shallow center field. So a stolen base for Mitchell. He's in scoring position now. Panthers looking to gain some separation from their opponents. That pitch sails behind the head of Long. Count 1-1 to the Panther catcher. Strike there to make it 1-2. Long, first hit of the day, hit a triple that scored a run, and then he was hit by a pitch. So officially, he's 1 for 1 on the day. Well, as official as the play-by-play broadcaster's scoring gets. Fouls that one away. Count remains at 1-2. Looks like we might have a pinch hitter on deck. See, in the closest thing we've got to an on-deck circle, looks like we have Sam Thompson, right-handed hitting first baseman. Now a ball hit shallow. That'll drop into right field. So Long goes the opposite way for a single. That will move Mitchell to third. So we've got runners at the corners. And nobody out. Sam Thompson, with Malari starting on the hill Friday, Thompson starting first baseman there. So you can kind of platoon a little bit with Malari, the lefty hitting first baseman, then Thompson, the right-hander. Thompson shows bunt, little bouncer to the hill. They look the runner back to third. So one down. Thompson laying down the bunt, and now Jones up at the plate, hit by a pitch and struck out. And a ball hit out to right center field. 1 run will score, Mitchell, and then another run comes across as Caleb Long comes home.
The Panthers, number 5, Jake Mason.
Gannon Jones with the 2 RBI single. So the Panthers up 4-1. Looks like we might have a little conversation going on. The coach, Moody, looks like he might be having a little discussion with one of his assistants. And we have a pinch hitter. Coming in to hit will be right-handed hitter, sophomore Grady McQuillan. And he'll hit for Mason.
17, Grady McQuillan.
So a couple of substitutions for Coach Moody here in the 6th. We'll have to keep our eyes and see what happens with the disposition of the center field spot. You got to get a feeling that maybe Cope will end up coming off the hill and moving out to center, a place he plays when he's not pitching. Count 0-1 here. That pitch inside as the count goes 1-1. Nogus on in relief of Roden. Bouncing ball just outside the third base line. That'll take the count to 1-2. Jones, the hitting hero of the ball game, down at first with that 2 RBI single. He's there waiting. McQuillan behind here on the count at 1-2. Next pitch, runner goes. Jones heads down to second. Schrader has a little bit of trouble with the pitch there, so no throw down. And the Panthers with a scoring position, runner in scoring position, here in the bottom of the 6th. McQuillan, swing and a miss. So Nogus with his first K of the afternoon.
Jordan Sawyer.
And that will bring up Jordan Sawyer. Sawyer grounded out, struck out. Runner at second and 2 down. Sawyer showing bunt, lets that go by as the count goes on 1-0. Let's update the scoreboard here. There's 2 outs in the inning. Next pitch fouled off to the right as the count goes even at 1-1. Next pitch, pop foul. 1-2 the count. Sawyer with Cope on deck. Bouncing ball hit up the middle. Shortstop there tries to make a play. And run comes around. Jones will score to make it 5-1.
That run counts. The Panthers, 3 runs on 4 hits.
How do you get the runner?
1 person left on base.
But the run will score first before the out was recorded. And that will do it for the Panthers in the bottom of the 6th. They put 3 on the board, and now we're up by 4. John L. Scott scoreboard showing the Panthers 5, the Grizzlies 1. We'll be back with the top of the 7th in 1 minute.
This is Maya. As an embedded systems engineering student at Rogue Community College, Maya spends a lot of time in the lab, learning circuit design and making great connections with her instructors and classmates. By riding the bus and not owning a car, Maya saves almost $1,000 a month. RVTD helps Maya get to and from class safely and easily, enabling her to invest in her bright future at Oregon Tech. Way to go, Maya!
Don't stop! Get it! Taco puts our greatness in!
Get a little Dutch Bros in here.
Another day, another Dutch Bros.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. So worth it. Oh my gosh.
It's pretty freaking dope, dude. I love every single day of it.
We go to the top of the 7th. One more opportunity for the Ashland Grizzlies, and now they will see left-hander Tristan Malari. Malari will move in from first base, and taking over at the first sack is McQuillan, and now Cope, the starting pitcher, moves out to center field.
For the Panthers, number 8, Tristan Malari.
So Malari on in relief.
Brady McQuillan.
And now Malari, the left-hander, will take a look at a left-handed hitter, Mateo Moore. Also due up in this inning, Noah Schrader and Sean Thompson.
Number 23, Mateo Moore.
Moore grounded out twice on the game, so the book is closed on Cope. Cope, through 6 innings, gave up just 1 hit, 1 run, and that was earned. Had a couple little bouts of wildness, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks. And 6 strikeouts. Moore ahead in the count at 2-1. Malari seeing his first action on the mound of the evening. Malari, the winning pitcher for the Panthers on Friday in their 12-0 victory against the Silverton Foxes. And he looked really solid and efficient that day. Here, the count 2-2. Mateo looks at that one, and it's strike 3. 1 down in the inning. Noah Schrader comes to the plate. 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch fouled back, count 0-1. Schrader, the Ashland catcher. Malari gets ahead here. He's got Thompson on deck for the Grizz. Malari comes to the plate, and that one's outside as the count goes 1-2. Wind kicking up a little again. It is nice to see, though, some patches of blue sky out there. Pitch swing and a miss. So 2 batters for Malari, 2 strikeouts. And here's Sean Thompson, 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to second, flew out to right. He'll hit a bounding ball down to McQuillan. He'll toss it over to Malari. And the South Medford Panthers square their record up at 2-2 as they defeat the Ashland Grizzlies by a score of 5-1. For Coach Josh Moody, that is his 50th victory at the helm of the South Medford program. We'll pause for messages, and then we'll do a quick wrap-up on today's game. So stick around. And coming up, we'll have the Dutch Bros post-game report. And that will come up here on TableRockSports.net.
You don't got to go home, but you got to get up on out of here. Stay safe.
Game day adventure starts at Pinnacle 365. Kick off your day with some morning motivation. Then add some crunch to your game day with mouth-watering crispy crunchy chicken party meals featuring bone-in, tenders, and wings. Make sure you remember the biscuits. You're sure to be the hit of the party when you show up with the crispy crunchy chicken party meal. Plus, with our Peak Rewards app, you can be earning savings on fuel for your next fill-up. Enjoy your game day adventures more at Pinnacle 365.
Are you an honorably discharged U.S. veteran? If so, did you know that you and your spouse could save approximately $5,000 by taking advantage of using a VA National Cemetery? You and your spouse get a grave or urn space, grave lining, opening and closing, headstone, and perpetual care, all free. Conger Morris can assist you with making all final arrangements and also help with other benefits that you and your spouse are entitled to as a veteran. Call Conger Morris or visit one of the offices.
Here at Harry and David Field on a day we weren't quite sure we'd get this game in, but we do. The elements cooperate just enough to allow the South Medford Panthers to square their record at 2-2 on the season with a non-league victory against an old Southern Oregon Conference opponent in the Ashland Grizzlies. We started out today with a good pitcher's duel between Evan Roden of Ashland and Kyle Cope of South Medford. Throughout much of the game, we just watched these pitchers work. That South Medford got and Ashland both got hitters aboard by walk or being hit by a pitch, but really unable to string anything together until Gannon Jones comes along. He collects a big 2 RBI single, and that helped kind of break the game open for South Medford as they end up coming away the 5-1 winners. With the loss, the Grizzlies now fall to 2-3 on the campaign. For South Medford, they'll next be in action on the 27th. They'll be taking on Corvallis. Now, I don't have the whole OSAA report in front of me, but I believe that's all a part of the the Crater Spring Break Tournament. But that'll go ahead and wrap things up for our Dutch Bros post-game show here on Table Rock Sports. The Panthers come away winners by a score of 5-1. We thank you for joining us this afternoon. Want to thank James Joy, South Medford High School Athletic Director, for hosting the Lithia Superstore Game of the Day on TableRockSports.net and today's broadcast. Our next Table Rock Sports presentation will be coming up next week during spring break. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that will give you alerts on upcoming video streams featuring your Panthers. Again, the final score on the John L. Scott scoreboard: South Medford 5, Ashland 1. This has been a presentation of Table Rock Sports. Executive producer is Joe Brett. With Johnny McCoy, I'm Jim McCoy saying thanks for watching and good night from Harry and David Field in Medford, Oregon.